Hey everybody, before we get started with the show, I wanted to share something that happened to me last week. I was at the school administration office and someone handed me this stack of thank you notes. And when I got to looking at it, it's actually a handwritten thank you note from almost every elementary student in Hennessey. They're handwritten, there are pictures of me with my camera, and they're thanking me for all the things we do to help keep them informed with videos and Facebook posts and things like that. I am absolutely grateful and humble for knowing that you actually care. This is what makes me get up in the morning and keep wanting to do this. Thank you, Hennessey elementary students and teachers, for all your support. Let's get to the show. Coming up on this week's All About Hennessey show, the annual Easter egg hunt. We learn about the giant car show that's coming to Hennessey, and the top 5 things to do with a used school bus. All this and much more on this episode of the All About Hennessey show. This show made possible in part by Integris, Bass Baptist Health Center, IntegrisOK.com. Welcome to this week's edition of the All About Hennessey show. Today, my co-host is Tony Blackburn, the golden chick guy, and well, we'll tell you what else he's into, like pretty much everything. And of course, Dr. Woods will be here shortly, and we're going to learn about the top 5 things you can do with a used school bus. That ought to be interesting.
That could be real fun.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. Yes. So, Tony, you're a new dad.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Like brand new. Like how long now?
It's 8 months old now.
8 months.
It's flying by.
Oh, baby. Did you go to the Easter egg hunt this week?
I did not. I missed that one.
You missed it. You could almost call it an Easter egg drag race.
Ooh.
I'm coming, babe.
Last Saturday at noon, several hundred Hennessey children gathered at Bullfoot Park for the annual Easter egg hunt. The event is hosted by the Hennessey Lioness Club, and they make and put out about 1,500 eggs.
To give back to our kids, and because it's Easter, and that's just what you do, you give.
I think the resident geese were just confused with all the colorful eggs on the ground. And of course, the Easter Bunny was on hand for photo ops.
All right.
As noon approached, the excitement started to build. They lined up. Mothers and grandmothers offered last-minute tips and strategies to their contestants. With the sound of the siren from an OHP car, the mayhem began and ended, well, about as fast as it started.
Goodness!
Then it was time for everyone to take inventory and see how they did.
It was 52 seconds from the time the whistle blew to the last egg was picked up.
Well, that really was a lot of fun. I mean, even if you blinked, you missed it. When we come back, Dr. Woods will be here. This show made possible in part by Heritage Pharmacy, Main Street, Hennessey.
One thing I want to do is thank Cimarron Electric. They have donated some more bottled water, and
They are one of our sponsors.
I
Thank
knew
you.
that.
Thank you, Cimarron Electric.
So that's why I threw them in there. But just great. We pulled up there, and they just loaded me a pallet up, and away I went, and brought it back and distributed it to
I see their water all over town. They're doing a really, really good job.
Really, absolutely. Extremely beneficial for us to have that.
You can also turn the faucet on and water comes out.
Yes,
you don't have
can,
to have it in a
but,
little bottle.
Well, you can't do that in some places.
Good point.
You can't take a spigot with you everywhere, but you can take a bottle of water with you everywhere, and so you would have a bottle whenever you need it. And we got kids going everywhere this time of year with softball, baseball, track, all that's going on, and field trips and activities and just all the other stuff. So they need bottles of water, and but we got it here, and it's being distributed, and it's just great. And thank you, Cimarron Electric.
While we're on wheels, you're selling that bus.
Yes. Was this our segue?
This is it.
This
we're
was what you were waiting
from
for, wasn't it?
Pickup truck to bus, and so go ahead.
Can I set the scene?
Yeah, do it.
We have a large white activity bus that's been affectionately dubbed Moby. And I think you guys can get the literary connection between the two.
It's enormous.
It's white. It kind of flounders
around.
It's actually
it's not a school bus. It's a commercial,
Van Hool.
like a city bus.
Yeah, Van Hool is a brand of bus that a lot of
Diesel, it's a big deal.
Yes, air brakes. It does a lot of things, but it has served us extremely well. But it is time that we move along, and so Moby is for sale. The Great White Activity Bus is up for auction. We're taking their bids. I don't think they have to be sealed bids, just bids on the buses. And I think we're going to open those at the May board meeting, which is sometime in May. I think it's 10th. I believe it's May 10th is that board meeting. And if you would like to own a piece of Hennessey history, you can just bring a bid up to the admin offices, or you can send me one via email. The email I'm sure you're going to post somewhere at some point. But as we're talking about this, I'm wondering, what could one use a Great White Activity Bus for?
I am so glad you asked.
Do you have any thoughts?
I have the top 5 things
Fantastic.
you can do with a used school bus.
Imagine that.
Are you ready? Make the drum noise sound. Okay. The top 5 things you can do with a used school bus are: number 5, use it as a bus. You got a lot of kids,
Yeah.
Big family.
I know some board members that would be probably interested.
Particular board member we won't mention, but he knows.
Yep.
Yeah. Pick you up a deal. All right. The number 4, the 4th, make a storage building out of it.
Great idea. Because you could just move it over to your stuff, load it up, and you'd already be stored.
You don't. Yeah, I mean, and if you kept it like way out in the field, you could bring it close to the house.
Right.
Wouldn't that be cool? A moving storage building. I hadn't thought of that. Okay, I thought about just taking the wheels off it, but leave the wheels on it. You can move it.
Right to wherever you need stuff stored.
Very, very cool. All right. The third biggest thing you can do with a used school bus is make a greenhouse out of it.
Make a greenhouse.
That's kind of cool. Take the top off, put some
good for the
plastic
environment.
on there. Yeah.
Instead of polluting the environment like it was before when it was
putting
driving it, now we're putting it back into the service.
Grow your own vegetables right in your backyard. Yep.
It'll be very healthy for you.
The second best thing you can do with a used school bus is cut the top off it and make a gigantic pickup truck.
Right.
Think of all the water you could put
All the water
in a pickup
bales
truck that
of
big.
hay.
What are those things, like 40 feet long?
The white bus?
Yeah.
It's longer than that. Yeah.
Well,
It's
the
longer than that,
average
'cause it's
pickup
like
bed
55.
nowadays is like 6.5 to 8 feet.
Right.
And this is like 40 feet.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
Top number 1 thing you can do with a used school bus is make an RV out of it.
That's an
Buy
RV, Clark.
cracky-
I bet the price of the white bus just like tripled.
Well, yeah, and this is a classy bus.
Yeah.
I mean, this is air conditioned. This is a whole deal. Cushy seats.
Really nice seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, nothing else. You can put
Will
those seats
you-
in your living room.
Will you have another set of items that people can do next week?
Maybe.
Will this be an ongoing kind of a
We
series?
could do that. Let me know in the comments if you want to know more things you can do with a used school bus. If you win the bid on May 10th, tell us what you're going to do with the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really nice. That's
Okay.
that good. I'm good we started with that because it can only go downhill from now. All right, so are we
All right,
ready? Are we ready to
let's
move
get
on?
back on track.
Okay. Summer school. We're kicking around having summer school this year. Again, this is luckily we have been one of the schools that have been in school the full time, so we probably come closest to a normal school year than any of the others. But this does still have a benefit, I feel like, this year to have summer school to help kids catch up that have missed several weeks. We had the meeting on it with Superintendent Hoffmeister today, and they said we have to write a return to school plan. So I chimed in the chat, and I said, well, what if we've been going to school all year? Do we have to still do a plan? And they said, we're going to have to talk about that because we don't know. Everyone just
tripped them up.
assumes.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's this big assumption that everybody was just now going back to school, and there's a lot of us, especially out here, especially out in western Oklahoma, we've been in school. So we don't have to have a plan to return because we are already there. But if you have some input on summer school, I'd love to have your thoughts, like times of the day, what time of the summer, stuff like that, so it'll help us plan for that. Not been a big uptick in cases, or there's not been an issue. So we're on track Monday to reduce the restrictions a little bit to where the masks even in the public areas will be optional. But that doesn't mean everything else is. It just means if the teacher is okay with it, in the classrooms they can not have to have masks on all the time. And then now Monday, if everything stays the same, then we'll loosen that up in the hallways and in groups. I am still recommending, and I still wear a mask everywhere. It's still the right thing to do. But I certainly respect our folks and our community because they, again, have been so supportive and so good to go along in some really troubled times and in some really uncomfortable circumstances. And again, just respect that and want to give them a little bit of credit. They'll do the right things as we move forward. So again, Monday we're loosening that up. But the CDC just sent out some more guidelines, and the big thing is that if you will wear a mask, and the teacher and the student, or if they wear, then the chances of you being close contact quarantine are less. So if you're in a classroom, teacher's wearing a mask, student's wearing a mask, but another student has been exposed or has shown signs of the COVID, then the teacher and the person with the mask would not be a close contact because they're practicing the distancing.
Okay.
And now what I hate about this is they keep saying always follow the science. Well, the daggone science has changed since day one.
Yep.
It used to be.
Well, we're learning what the heck it is.
Exactly.
And,
So anyway, the kiddo then that doesn't have a mask on in the classroom, they would still be a close contact. They would still be quarantined. The 3-foot distance is only in the classroom. Outside the classroom, they want everyone to still be 6 feet apart. Again, these guidelines are on the CDC website. A couple things on the walking track.
Okay.
We don't have the summer schedule in place yet, but I did get some feedback, and I really appreciate it, talking about, that they would appreciate mornings, not necessarily early mornings, but somewhere like a 7 to 10 in the morning. And then of an evening, their point was they'd much rather walk outside. Monday, we've got 6 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Okay.
And then we have a lunch time in there from 11:27 to 12:20. Our normal 6 to 9:30, which 6 to 9:30 is every night, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
The 11:20 to 12:20 is every day but Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are the mornings from 6 to 8. And we have a clock up on the walking track now.
Oh,
And
one of the school clocks? Oh, cool.
Which the neat thing about it is during inclement weather or anything, you will also, if there's an emergency, you will be alerted to that emergency over that clock as well.
That's right, their digital readout will tell you what the emergency
And actually
is.
there's an audio message that plays with it as well. And not only is it audio, but it is English and Spanish.
Cool. And
all of that in one
throughout
small
the whole
clock.
campus. You've just now
Right,
added that.
but
to
we
the-
just added the clock to the walking track because that was a question, not knowing the time and stuff like that. Do the drum roll. Thank you. That sounds a little more like air out of a balloon, but that would be Sunday, May 9th at 2 p.m. That is in the Eagle Event Center.
Yep, the big room.
So it's in the big house. And again, we're going to do our very best, if COVID will cooperate, that we can make that as a traditional setting. There will still be some social distancing between the graduates and the rest of the audience. There'll be a space in the chairs, but folks will probably be pretty much left to their own devices.
The building's
to where
big
they
enough
sit.
now that you can spread out, and then
Yeah.
of course we will, for sure-ish, be broadcasting it live. Yeah, we have
Cameras are up and they are
new
spectacular.
cameras, and so the way it looks now, you're not gonna have to require only 4 people can participate, but only so many people can be on the floor.
As it sets right now, it's basically as normal,
Okay.
if that's the right word to use anymore. But yes, the graduates will be up in front in.
Oh, so
seating.
you're not going to have to do the grad and the parent like we did
No.
last year. We can just
No,
put all the
we're-
grads together and then anybody behind them on the floor and in the bleachers. Okay.
Yeah, that's the discussion right now. And again, everything's subject to change. We're not in complete control. If we were to all of a sudden see a huge spike, I'm sure there would be new guidelines that would come out that might put the kibosh on that, and we'd have to go back to doing
Everybody
something
hold your
different.
breath.
But that would help keep it
That
from
would-
spreading.
yeah.
So if everyone would just quit breathing, we wouldn't have any problems. So, but again, that's where we are right now.
All right.
Again, I love to hear your feedback. It does help guide the way we decide.
Sure.
It
The
is
walking
actually
track's a good
considered.
example of that. By offering feedback, you get what you need.
Yep,
And so
absolutely.
there you go. All right. Is that all you got?
I think I'm done.
Very cool.
All right.
We'll
Thanks,
be right
Jack.
back with Tony Blackburn, who has all the details about this enormous car show that's coming to Hennessey.
It's all great big cars?
No, just a lot of them.
A lot of regular cars.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's pretty neat. Stay tuned. This show made possible in part by Eagle Propane, Hennessey. We deliver. Community State Bank. Small town banking the way it should be. We're back. So, for those of you that don't know, you were born in West Virginia,
I was.
and then you lived in Germany for a while.
I did.
Yes, and then where'd you graduate high school? You ended up back in
Santa
Oklahoma.
Fe.
Okay.
Yeah, it ended in Santa Fe. From there, I actually went to the military.
That's right, yes.
I started out in the Air Force and ended in the Army. I know.
Okay, we won't go there. Anyway, yeah, so is that make you a double veteran, or does it only one of them count, or how does that work?
Well, I've served in both, so I'm a veteran. It doesn't matter if you're Navy or any of them.
You don't get brownie points
No
for having a double major like in college or
No
something?
brownie points. Can't get that one.
And then, of course, Tony owns our Hennessey Golden Chick and what's the name of the lawn care company?
Freedom Lawns.
Freedom Lawns, and he helped with my trees during the ice storm and other things. So you don't just mow grass, you do other lawn care and
things like that. We do all types of stuff, irrigation and all types of stuff.
Well, I didn't know you did irrigation.
Yep, we're starting on irrigation now.
Oh, okay. So my aerobic septic system confuses you.
I don't deal with septic. I'll leave that to another local company.
We'll see if we can get him on the show. And then you married our local Autumn Birkenbile.
I did.
Yes, and then recently became a proud dad.
I am.
And now you've got this car show thing coming.
Yes.
Tony dropped in here a few months ago and says, hey, I got this car show idea. And I said, sure, okay. Well, we already do a thing like that. And then it's gotten enormous. How many cars are you thinking?
Well, our last one, we had over 700 cars show up.
Okay.
Yes, quite big.
Yeah. I don't know if we have that many parking spaces, but
We're going to find them.
But you have been working hard with, I guess the whole point of doing this was to help Hennessey businesses help get kind of our economy jacked up again and give people things to do. And
Correct. We've had such a hard time with COVID, and the restaurants are hurting. The only thing I wanted to do is really start giving back to the community. Give the restaurants a little bit of glimmer of hope, and then give the residents of Hennessey some normalcy again. This is just something we do. Cruising Oklahoma, we love going out and seeing the state we live in, and really trying to impact the smaller town community and help them out.
So the Cruising Oklahoma is like a car club. Is that correct? It's sort of a car club. And recently, you've started making destinations out of your day. Instead of just like driving around, you go to a town and kind of camp out for the day and have fun and things like that.
Correct. We start out different destinations. We have different destinations every month, and we start out in different areas of the state every month. So what we do is we plan out a route. It could be through small towns. And
Well, let's use this one. How is this one going to work?
Well, this one, actually, we're starting out at Yukon High School. From Yukon High School, we'll be cruising down Highway 66 to El Reno. El Reno will be taking Highway 51 all the way up to Hennessey.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a lengthy cruise, about an hour and a half cruise.
The point of it is, though, these guys have these really cool cars of all venue kind of a car, and you get to spend the day driving around in it.
Exactly. It's what we want to do. It's what we love to do. So this is our hobby and our passion.
So some of the things that you planned for the Hennessey event are there's going to be a decibel contest. So what's a decibel contest?
Well, do you remember the big bass systems in cars that go boom, boom, boom?
Yes.
All right. So they actually measure that boom, boom. And the loudest boom, boom wins.
Okay. And that is going to be at the old C&G station on 316 North Main Street.
Correct.
Yep. And that's an actual sanctioned event, isn't it? It's sort
That
of
is
like
correct. It's from the USCI. They're actually coming out. They're going to be running the whole event at that area. They'll be doing the measurements.
They got special instruments to measure the boom boom.
Oh, correct. Yeah. There's some really neat things that happen there.
And then now you've got a burnout box at 2 o'clock at the end of West First Street. And those of you from around here, around Hennessey, know that it's the same place that the Friends Bar's burnout spot is.
That is correct.
During their car show. So
That is correct. We'll have, of course, the Hennessey Police Department, or not the Police Department, but the Fire Department out there helping us.
yeah. So when you burn out into flames, they'll put the flames out for you. Yeah.
Well, let's hope not.
Or squirt some water down to get the tires wet to make the smoke and that kind of thing.
Let's
Sure.
go for that one.
And then dino pulls, not to be confused with dinosaur rides, inside joke. Dwayne's Conoco is doing, and his company's name is D&G Dino Tune, is going to be doing chassis dyno.
Correct.
To check, see how many horsepower you got in
Correct.
your cool car.
We have Deutschworks and a couple other companies that are actually throwing in prizes to that. Kickers
I didn't know that.
Yep. And then Kicker is actually throwing in some prizes for the decibel contest as well.
What better company to do a decibel contest than Kicker Speakers?
Yep. And they're an Oklahoma business.
Yes, from Stillwater.
Correct.
Yes. And then a slow speed stunting area. Is that like people walking in slow motion or something? Or what is that?
Well, we tried to get the nursing home to come in. And it didn't work out.
I knew that was coming.
But no, this is for our motorcycle guys. These guys get to come in and they try to do their stunting. They'll do little wheelies, they'll do stoppies, they'll do anything that they can, but it needs to be slow speed. That way, it's a little safer.
It's like trial riding for dirt bikes. Like you go as slow as you possibly can and still stay up doing things.
I don't know if I can do that.
Oh, that's hard. Have you seen some of the things those guys do?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty wacky. Now, here's the one that gets me excited. Helicopter rides.
Yes.
Yeah. And now where's the helicopter going to be taking off and landing?
Well, we're going to be in between the library and the old gym.
Oh, in
on
the
Main
field
Street.
where the pumpkin patch is.
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Very, very cool. And that's between 1 and 5:30 p.m.
Yes.
And then you're going to music. You have Jack, is it Waters?
It's Jack Waters and the Unemployed. Not to be confused with you, Jack.
Okay. I kind of have a job. All right. And so they're going to be entertaining in Memorial Park. You're going to have the stage. The Hennessey United stage is going to be there.
Yes, they were kind enough to let us use the stage. We're going to have audio equipment there. They're going to come out. They're going to, give us some music for about 2.5 hours. And then, that way it's going to be the central hub is the park. It's going to have the vendors. And
That
it's
way
gonna
you can go
have-
down Main Street and eat or go to the winery and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And then, of course, lots of food and shopping. Remember, the whole point of this is to bring people into town. And they can eat here and go shopping in our gift shops and the mercantiles and
Exactly.
all that kind of stuff. And so any of the store owners, be sure to have your flags out or whatever you're going to do to welcome the people as they come
Well,
into
what we're going
town.
to do is we're trying to get with the store owners, and we're going to have them put feather flags out. The cat team is going to get concrete buckets with a hole in the center of it, so that way they can put their feather flags out, and Oklahoma's not taking their feather flag for a
Wind.
ride.
I think it's like 30-mile-an-hour wind today, so yeah, we understand.
And
how
we're
that
actually
works.
putting on the website, so that way the people that are coming in on the cruise, they know to look for the feather flags.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So-
you see a feather flag, you know that business is open.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
If you don't have a feather flag, get one of those big signs like the Geico commercial and be holding it up front, let people know you're in there.
I would probably hit myself in the face.
I couldn't do that. I'd fall down. And then now you have stuff for kids too. What do you got going on for kids?
We have a local company out of Enid. They're going to bring some bouncy houses and an art bus down. It's only $5 for the whole day for the bouncy houses. They'll get a nice little wristband, and they can go up and down the bouncy houses as much
and
as
it's
they can.
more than just a bouncy house. It's like maybe an obstacle thing and a.
They were talking about bringing out a 50-foot obstacle one and a one with a large slide on it.
Oh, well, that's
I might
pretty
have
cool.
to go on it a couple times, really.
I think so. Yeah, I see a challenge here.
All right, challenge accepted.
Awesome. So Tony is really looking for help. If
am.
you are a car guy or gal, or you just really want to help out and volunteer, he'll give you a yellow vest, and you can be a car cruising official helper person, kind of thing like that. But this is going to be a really big event, folks. It's going to bring a lot of new people into town and hopefully a lot of money into town to help with our businesses and restaurants. And if you'd like to help out with that, I'll have Tony's contact information in the description of this video. You give him a call or text him or whatever and see how you can help him out.
That would be awesome.
This is exciting.
I can't wait. It's
So,
gonna be fun.
so exciting that you're able to do this and bring this event to town. And hopefully maybe it's an annual event.
I would love for it to be an annual event. Like I said, I live in this town with everyone that's here, and I want to see this town prosper.
Yep.
So
well, thank you so much for doing this, and I guess we'll see what happens on April 18th, starting at 1 in the afternoon. All right.
right.
Thanks, Tony.
Well, thank you.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stay tuned next week, and who knows what's going to happen. Thanks for watching.